welcome back as we touch base with the Ministry of Youth Development and National Service. I want to welcome Joel Isaac. He is the Manager of Youth Facility at the Ministry. He's here with us on the Zoom line to give us all the intimate details concerning the Under 40 program. Joel, good morning and welcome.
Good morning and thank you for having me here.
So the launch was Monday, Joel. I understand that all is in place. 40 under 40, you're going to target more the Form 3 and Form 4 students.
Correct.
Give them that one-on-one really with people that you all would have, deemed influencers, people who can impact the students. Walk me through the process and let me know when officially these personalities will be engaging the students.
Okay. So the program was launched on Monday. Our first visit would have been at the El Dorado East Secondary School. We would have visited there on Wednesday. Today, we're actually visiting the Tranquility Government Secondary School, where these students will have the opportunity to interact with these young movers and shakers. So in keeping with the 40 under 40 program, it's part of the ministry's mandate to promote youth development. So when we look at the 40 under 40 and creating the platform to be for the young persons to be supported in traditional and non-traditional areas, including entrepreneurship and personal development, right? So the phase of the program actually is delivered in cycle 1 in terms of secondary school caravan. That's the method that we're using. And the program itself actually addresses Pillar 2 and 8 of our National Youth Policy, 2020-2025. And the Pillar 2 speaks to harnessing youth, social and intellectual capital. And Pillar 8, creating an enabling environment for positive youth development in Trinidad and Tobago.
Joel, who are some of the movers and shakers, as you put it? Obviously, I'm sure careful consideration would have been put in place when deciding to bring this. I mean, look, Janine, oh, my darling Janine, of course, that's my colleague from right here in Guardian Media, great person in terms of media. Just tell me about some of the movers and shakers.
Right, so some of the development influencers, Anika Will, who is a media practitioner. We have Andrew Lewis, Olympian, and then we have Darren Sandy, who spoken word, Dr. Lena Williams, clinical psychologist. We have Keegan Simon, an entrepreneur, Nyosha King Claxton, Paralympian. We have Sule Joseph, psychologist. We have Tenille Clark, publicist. And we have Tajane Remy, Miss Universe Trinidad and Tobago 2022. And we have Miki Miraj, creative director. So these are some of the young movers and shakers that the ministry that participates in the 40 under 40 program, and they contribute to the youth work that we do. It's something that is voluntary. So they volunteer their time, they answer the call to provide, so to speak, national service. We would have sent out to engage, make a call via our social media for persons to express their interest, to apply, to become an influencer, and to be considered to become an influencer. And these are some of the individuals that will visit the school as we go along.
So this is happening at the schools in a classroom setting, or is it something where they will be addressing, let's say, the entire form, like in an auditorium? Just walk me through the actual logistics of the school engagement. What happens behind the school walls?
All right, so I'll tell you. When we get to the school, it's actually in the auditorium in a relaxed environment. So we have these students who come and they sit around a table. So we have a breakfast discussion, so a breakfast table discussion, whereby these students will have the opportunity to ask questions to these influencers based on their career path, find out what are some of the challenges that they would have experienced within their specific industry. So some students may be passionate about possibly becoming a journalist or a publicist. What are some of the obstacles? What are some of the challenges that they may encounter as they get towards that career path? And we've focused on students from Form 3 and Form 4, because at the Form 3 level, you're actually subject selection. That's your time where you're going to Form 4. So you need the opportunity there. You capitalize on the opportunity, interacting with the influencer, to find out what are some of the decisions that you need to make, because these critical decisions will have an impact on your career path So you would have an idea if you need to choose literature, history, religious education. So some of these subjects, they have the opportunity to get that guidance. If you would like to become an entertainer, music, how to focus, networking, understanding the financial aspect of things, and not just becoming an employee, but also a job creator, so that you are able to now expand and grow in Trinidad and Tobago.
Listen to me, very important, because I can recall when I was at school, we would have like a career day, or there will be moments where certain key personalities back then, I remember distinctly Bran Lara coming to talk to us, and lots of what he said would have motivated me. I remember distinctly feeling energized after Lara took the opportunity to talk to us. And this is we're talking about here, Joel, the 90s, eh? This is when Lara he didn't even break the big record yet. He had just made a 277 in Australia, and later on he was able to make the 365, as it were, if I'm not mistaken, or 375. Let me find out. You said Eldo East, you all started earlier this week, Tranquility today. Where else? Are you going to be spreading this throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago? Is this heading Tobago?
Of course. We're visiting 26 schools throughout the academic year. In cycle 1, we're visiting 12 schools. So after we visit Tranquility today, the third stop would actually be Brazil Secondary, which we look forward to, and then Carapichaima West. So there are 26 schools, and we go down. So we have Shoguanas North, Shoguanas South, Diego Martin, El Dorado West, Five Rivers next week, Malik Secondary, Manzanilla Secondary, Maruga Secondary, just to name a few. And even if we look at Siparia, East Siparia, West Sandy Grande. So we're actually visiting the different locations within Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago will now benefit in terms of our visit, in terms of community, because there are different phases. But this is phase 1, and we're focusing on the school caravans in this instance.
Well, Joel, I want to thank you for the time this morning, for really giving us some clarity, and let me congratulate yourself and those at the ministry for putting this together. It's important. You know, people always talk about why some of these, you know, top-ranking people don't go and talk to the children. Well, you know what? It's happening. The program is here, and it's called the 40 Under 40 program. Hey, Joel, we'll touch base soon. Thanks for coming on, and congrats in advance.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, man, this is good news, what they're doing there at the ministry. Let me, of course, head across now to the break, and we come back and get into carnival research. Definitely an important discussion. Remember yesterday, Business Guardian mentioned the science of carnival? Well, we continue with that dialogue this morning. Up next, we do a deep dive into the science of carnival. See you soon.